Hey, footy fans, let's have some footy fun with Footy Fin after Origin week, and more on that in another post. Let's jump into my tips for NRL round 17. Friday night, the Dogs take on the Sharks at the Olympic Stadium. The Dogs may or may not have their captain Stephen Crichton back after Origin. If they do, it's within 48 hours of that game. Sharks are missing Hamlin Uele. I'm going to go with the Sharks to win there. Saturday afternoon in Auckland, the Warriors host the Broncos. Now, the Warriors had a terrible weekend and game at the Goldie against the Titans. They were thrashed by over 50 points by the Titans last week. They do have back their talisman, DWZ. Somehow he might ignite them. However, they are missing, once again, Sean Johnson, who's succumbed to an injury. Will they have back their Origin players, Capewell and Barnett? Time will tell. As for the Broncos, it's unclear whether or not they'll have their Origin players back. Walsh, Carrigan and Haas. I think Carrigan might be suspended. I'm not sure. Interestingly, the Broncos do have a handful of New Zealanders, New Zealand-born players in their squad. So it's a bit like a home away from home for many of them in Auckland. But I'm going to go with the Warriors to bounce back here, given that the Broncos might be missing a couple of Origin players. Saturday afternoon, the Knights host the Eels at McDonald Jones Stadium in Steel City. Knights have got a young fella called Will Price at 5'8". They have been struggling a bit recently. The Eels, of course, their halfback Mitch Moses had a standout game in Origin 2. Will he be returning for the Eels? Probably will, I think. That'll be within 72 hours of that game. I've got the Knights here. The Eels are terrible lately. Knights to win there. And then the Storm on Saturday night hosts the Raiders. Look, this one's a bit of a no-brainer, really, isn't it? The Raiders have been struggling. The Storm are sitting on first. They're at home. Will they have their Origin players back in Harry Grant and Xavier Coates? Look, I don't think it matters either way. The Storm are going to win that one. Sunday, the Dragons host the Dolphins at Jubilee Stadium. Now, these two sides met in round 2 up in Redcliffe. 38-0, the Dolphins won. The Dolphins are almost certainly going to be missing Hammer after he picked up a shoulder injury in Origin 2. Will Kafusi be back for them after Origin duties? Who knows? Now, sadly, the Dolphins do have a poor record in Sydney. Only a few weeks ago, in their second season, did they pick up their first win in Sydney. So that is a factor here. The Dragons, will they have back their Origin players in Lomax, Hunt and Sewer? That could influence things. I tend to think they will have them back. It's a Sunday game. I'm going with the Dragons to win there. I'd love to see the Dolphins win. Fins up. But Dragons, I'm tipping. Sunday, Panthers host the Cowboys. Now, each team here has a handful of players who have played in Origin this week. According to the NRL website, Jeremiah Nanai is definitely out for the Cowboys. The result may swing a bit depending on which Origin players are back, but overall, I'm going with the Panthers to win at home. And then last game, the Roosters host the Tigers at the Sydney Football Stadium. The Roosters, will they have back their Origin players, Collins, Crichton and Lanyao? And Connor Watson, I think they'll certainly have him back. He only had a bit of a brief cameo late in the game. The Tigers, they have no Origin players, sadly, at the moment, so that's not a factor. Olam and Bateman are on the extended bench, but they're not playing. I'm going with the Roosters to win there. So there you go. There's my tips for round 17. Bring it on. Can't wait. Till next time. Catch you out around the left edge. See ya.